Yo, yo, yo. What up, YouTube? I'm in the car with it today. I wanted to change up the scenery. Because really, this is one of the biggest manifestations that I got in the last, it's been like 5 weeks since I had this new car. So that's what I want to talk about today. Just got done smoking, so forgive my little raspiness. But yeah, so today I want to talk about, just for a little minute, about the power of manifestation and how to specifically manifest what you want as an artist entrepreneur. So, and even just for anybody, honestly, but since I'm an artist entrepreneur, I feel like that's one of the main things that we forget that we have the power of, and that's the power of imagination. Like, as artists, and as anybody, okay, because it's, and everything I'm about to say, rules and all, applies to any human, but for the artist specifically, the best power that we have is the power of our imagination. So as an artist specifically, we know that we use the imagination all the time. Like, we're constantly in the state of imagination as an artist and creative, because we constantly in the state of creativity. Like, it's not a moment, at least for myself, that don't go by in my mind where I'm thinking about something I have to create, should create, need to finish creating, maybe if not right now, in the future, something I want to create right now maybe, but it's, my mind is always in a constant state of creativity. So with that, my mind is in a constant state of imagination. So since a kid, I've been tapped into just like spiritual energies and all of that, but just specifically like the power of imagination, I feel like I've been tapped in since a child. Like, I vividly remember laying on my back as a kid on my bed just for fun. Everybody downstairs in the house, I'm upstairs listening to all my music, laying on my bed, eyes closed, having the time of my life off something I done seen in my head, just like a movie, like for real, like eyes closed for probably, at least hours, as a kid. Like, I remember my mom coming in there, you sleep? No, I'm not asleep. I wake up. She used to say I wake up like the Undertaker. She was like, you just like the Undertaker, because I wasn't asleep. Like, but, now at 31, you know what I'm saying? Or just like when I was, just even early in my 20s, tapping into my spiritual journey. Now I know that's, lucid dreaming, or, just being in a high frequency of like another dimension that's not like here right now, but it's your dream state, but you're not dreaming. It's a lucid dream. So I remember tapping into that as a kid. Astral projection. Like, I remember, now we know the terms and I can, look it up and read it. But as a kid, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, 11, all of that, I was been doing that. Just literally, like, ask anybody in my family. Like, just like laying on my bed or on the floor, on my back with pillows, you feel me? And I just go into the zone. I'm listening to all the music I want to listen to. So I say that to say I was triggering my mind to do that as a kid, not knowing even like where that would take me. But wherever I was going in my imagination, which I vividly remember, used to be like kind of, it's crazy I'm about to say this, like literally how I am now. Like, I imagined this shit, I dreamed it up, and I'm living the shit. It's crazy. Like, I didn't know I wanted to be a business owner per se. Didn't know what that was in terms of entrepreneurship. Nobody in my family has a business that they actually like run and make money from. You know what I'm saying? I know we have artists in my family. No one has tapped into it to make it a career. We have creative, fashionable people in my family, poets, sketch artists. Like, literally, like, my family is full of artists, but nobody like tapped into it for a full like career path. So I feel like when I was taking that time as a kid outside of basketball, because like whenever I wasn't doing basketball, I was doing art and what I'm talking about. I think I conjured that up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And I remember, like, people would ask me all the time, what you want to be when you grow up? I would say an artist. And to people on the receiving end, you know, artists don't make money. I was told that artists don't make money. And as a kid, though, like, as a child, people are telling me artists don't make money. So, you know, that kills a little bit of that imagination. You know, it kills a little bit of that seed that, you know, I've been sprouting. They don't necessarily know what I see in my head, right? But I do. So it's like I feel like when those things happen as a kid and you tapping into those like things, and it's like you don't know what it is, but like you feel the energy of it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm saying I want to be an artist, it must be a reason I'm saying that as a kid. But if somebody on the receiving end is like, artists don't make money, you sure? Then it's like, that's like a projection. You know what I'm saying? Because they, maybe in their life, they ain't never thought about that. Maybe in their life, they in the career that they in, and that's working. So when it come to you, as the receiver, as maybe like they trying to give you some advice or whatever, it's like, nah, maybe you should get into, you know, being a doctor or a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? Like, those professions are perceived to make money. But it's like the duty of an artist is to imagine the idea of what our lifestyle is. Like, the whole point of having the power to create the art is to create the lifestyle. So it's like, I learned at an early age, people gonna talk shit on your dreams, but it's like up to you to guard it and block it. And I'm not gonna say I did that or knew how to do that at like 5. You know what I'm saying? Because I heard that shit at 5 years old. I just kind of knew it wasn't true, because at the same time, my kindergarten teacher told me it's no mistakes in art. So it's like, you'll get, you know, I feel like on the journey of being an artist, you'll get like confirmations that you're supposed to keep going and doing what you see in your head as the vision. And you gonna get them counteracting moments when people is like, you know, nah, art is, you know, not really the smartest thing to do. But that's in their mind's eye, which is not as open as yours if you are already an artist. So I say all this to say, usually as an artist, you get into the starving artist notion. You get into the, I'm not sure how to make this work. And this is even after you made the art. And it's so crazy because we have so much ease with making the art. Like, we have comfort in that. We can make the art all day. Like, you'll go into an artist's room, and if they paint, they got paintings everywhere. If they got, you know, if they do sculpting, they got sculptures everywhere. If they write, they got poems everywhere. If they do, you know, music, they got songs downloaded for days. They, you know, that is out and not out. So it's like, we don't have a problem making the art. We have a problem putting it out to the masses to do what it's supposed to do, which is why we had the power to create it, which is to give us back what we put in, which is that receiving energy of abundance. So if we have this as artists, right, if our whole mechanism is full of this abundant amount of creativity to create the things that we create, on the receiving end, it should be no reason why we have an issue receiving that same amount of abundance energy that we put into said creative thing. So if it's a project, I just put all my energy into a project. I didn't, you know, sleep for hours putting together this project, and I was inspired to do this project maybe from a song that I listened to. So I go days, weeks putting together, maybe it's a canvas project, and I do it, I complete it. But it's something in me that's still like terrified to put that out, or to show my process, or to put a price on it after I put it out and show my process. Like, it's almost like it's like a negative, I don't know, pushback that you'll get inside of yourself that's pushing back your creative thing that you just did. And I think that I've tapped into it as I've like grown into a, you know, a established artist. I think it's definitely mixed with imposter syndrome, insecurity, and just like a lack of self-confidence from like not training that muscle enough. Because like I can definitely say as you train it, it dwindles a little bit. Like it'll go silent. So it's like, and not all the way silent, but just silent, more silent every time you do it. So like if you ain't never put out a product before as an artist, it's terrifying because you got the whole world, the whole marketplace of the world, especially with social media, is full of artists putting out art in all different types of mediums. So if you new to this, it might be, scary. So it's like, okay, you put out a song and you're terrified. There's hella people putting out songs, you know what I'm saying? So what's going to make your song different than the other people that's putting out songs already? Well, the fact that you created it is a start because you are not them. So the fact that you created said song, your energy is in said song, your, creative, energetic signature is in said song, that's enough like to make you like inspired enough to push that. And then it's like when it comes to selling that or figuring out a way to promote that, it's like just the consistency. So I think that as artists, since we have not been given the luxury of art being a full career, especially for black artists, like you can definitely say art is a career, it exists, but it's like it's more acceptable in the world of like white fine art than it is for black art. So black art is cool to look at, but it's not a lot of people buying black art. And it might be because of the insecurities that we have as black artists. So I think that a way to tackle that is to know that we the shit. Like we got the most, buying power in America, period, anyway. So we buying other people's shit. We buying other people's art, fashions, structures, isms. We buying it. But either we are scared to tap into our power to support ourselves, or, we're scared to, really shake some shit up and support others as well. So I think the power of like the manifestation comes from like when you really set your sight on what you want to see yourself do as an artist. So I can say I definitely did this in college. So like I knew after high school, it probably logically wasn't going to be basketball. Not ever. I'm not saying we're going to cancel that out of life, but like where I was at in terms of how my life was set up and how my school was set up and just looking at the reality, basketball wasn't about to take me to, the riches. Like this ain't loving basketball. So it's like I had to hop out of that fantasy and really see what could I do for me and myself and my family naturally that I already do. Same as basketball. That's a natural talent. Nobody taught me how to hoop. Nobody taught me how to do art. So what could I do naturally with the God-given talents that I already have to like, go to the next level? Because when I quit basketball, it shocked everybody's system, but it shocked mine more. Because I'm like, God, what you want me to do then? If I'm not hooping, what you want me to do? So it's like, what you been doing? Art. I want you to do art for the rest of your life. And it's like, that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. So if I'm locked in with God, because that's the main thing that you need for this artist journey. Like I think back to the magic part and like the imagination part, it's like, if you an artist, you a magician, period. Like it don't matter if that word make you scary or I don't know, like go, hug your mom or read the Bible or some shit. But it's like, if you are a artist, you are like the closest to a magician. Jesus was a magician. Like that was an artist. Like he was walking through the world, healing people and, touching people, making blind men see. Like that's an art to that. Like this nigga parted the Red Sea. That's an artistic type of power to have from the most high source that you're getting that from to do said things that you're doing. Like that's some type of artistry, okay? We don't know if, he was like painting murals or nothing, but maybe he was. We don't know. But my point is, the power and the energy source that he was using to do those things that he was doing, that's the same shit we use to make a painting, make a song, make some merch, create a project, throw an event. build a car. like, you know, it's like the same energy. We're working from the same energy source. So that's some shit that you're like pulling out of nothing to make into something. Somebody had to create the model of this Jeep before it became an actual Jeep. And they had to create it in their mind before they made the actual architectural structure on the paper to send to the actual, you know, inventor to make this car model design. They had to do that shit. Like, you know, Elon had to create the Cybertruck from his head. He sat there for however many hours or years or days or whatever and said, I want to build a Cybertruck and it's gonna do this. He didn't even start there. I want to build this truck that do X, Y, Z. I'm gonna call it the Cybertruck. It's gonna have these types of bells and whistles in it. It's gonna drive itself. It's gonna be the dopest looking car on the highway. Everybody gonna want one. Like, you gotta say that stuff out loud so you can visualize it, see it. So by the time he go in there and start making the model, he know, okay, we gonna do gray, black. We gonna put out this color. We gonna do these colors first, actually. We gonna wait. We gonna bop them out with these two. Then we gonna come back to the drawing board and do these. Like, you gotta have a whole plan in your head so specific that you can see it and feel it happening. So before he, you know, even put the first model out, he already seen it happening in his head. Before you seen celebrities driving around with Cybertrucks, he already visualized that part of the marketing happening. He already knew that. So it's like, same with the iPhone. Like, Steve Jobs didn't sit there and say, you know, I'm just gonna do the iPhone and that shit just popped up. He had to visualize that. He visualized the future of phones because the regular way that we were communicating was about to be historic as fuck. Like, very much so outdated, especially for our generation as millennials. So it's like, okay, how can I be above the curve as an artist, as a tech savvy artist? Because that's exactly what he is, right? Or what he was. Like, just because he's a computer engineer doesn't mean that he's not an artist. That's a form of art. That's a whole nother side of the brain that, you know, you working with that you don't need. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother form of the arts. So you so futuristic in your mind at that time that he thought of that idea, that it manifested into the iPhone, and it's the main phone that everybody uses in America today, and he not here no more. That's a hell of an imagination. So it's like, if you follow that and you take it step by step as you see in your mind, and it actually materializes into the 3D where you can hold it, then it's like, you did it. So just do it again. And keep doing it again and doing it again and doing it again until you see the full lifestyle that you want to create for yourself. And the way to keep doing it again is to attach yourself to the energy that you felt the first time when you did it the first time. So it's like, okay, if I want to manifest my first $10,000 as an artist, whatever your art is, let's say I'm a painter. What's different about my style of art versus all the other people? For me, I could say splatter art. That's my art style. I've chosen to, I'm not the only one in the world, but how I do it is how I do it. It's my energy signature. So when I splatter art, that shit, you know, they tried to kill our vibe. Battery died. Of course it died when I'm about to give y'all the TT, like super T. You feel me? Like, actually, while we on this little break, let me get everything back proper. Like, that's crazy. Like, what? Let me show off the merch real quick, you feel me? Fuck anxiety joggers, you know. If I ain't wearing the indie tops, I'm wearing the indie bottoms all the time. But yeah, so, like, basically, the energy that you use to create the art that you make, that frequency that you be in when we doing our art thing, you know, vibing in our zone, they like to say, right? That's the same zone that you stay in to make it happen in actual 3D. So if you make the product, you just made a whole thing of paintings. In order for you to sell that whole thing of paintings, let's say, like we said, we want to make $10,000 a month. We don't be scared to price our paintings that we just work so hard for at increments that could get us to that $10,000 a month. Whether it's making them digital prints as well and selling them, one off. Whether it's finding the local galleries in the area to have an exhibition and, tailoring your art audience to people who can afford that price point, right? Rather it's leaving your city, because maybe that's not possible in your city, and you want to make this 10K, but you can't make it in your city with your art. So you take yourself to a city that can do that for you based on the frequency that they have, and you hop into that and do what you need to do. But as the artist, you can do that. Like, you can create that lifestyle for yourself. Like, if as an artist you want to all day just create in your studio, in some parts of your day you handle some work that people have commissioned you to do, and some parts of your day you do certain projects that you were commissioned to do. Maybe they're bigger than the small things that you do, and maybe for the rest of your day you just want to chill and sleep. You should be able to visualize that entire lifestyle, like, because you can do that as the artist. Like, as the artist, I feel like we don't give ourselves enough credit to endure that luxury lifestyle that we want. It's like, if you an artist, you ain't trying to be no struggling artist. Like, if you an artist and you actually doing your shit, like, it's a certain way that you want to live. It's a certain way that you want to be perceived. It's a certain way that you want your life to go and look like, and to, hopefully benefit the people around you. So it's like, everything is up here in your mind in terms of how you get that. So it's like, don't stop yourself. And maybe somebody gotta hear this, because I be literally like just feeling like I should be talking about this stuff. But it's like, don't think that you can't do it because art don't look like it's an easy thing to make a living from. Because if it wasn't an easy thing to make a living from, you wouldn't be an artist. If art wasn't an easy thing for you to make a living from, like a living, like you live off your art, you make $100,000 a year off your art, you make $1 million a year off your art, you make $1 million a month off your art, you make $1,000 a week off your art, you make $1,000 a day off your art. If you want that, that can happen. It's like, and how I just said in a repetition, that's one of the codes on how to do it. Repeat it as many times as possible. Like repeat that shit. Like, no lie. Like, when it came to like how I manifested, like the car that I'm sitting in, I literally like didn't know how I was gonna get this car. Like, let's just talk about that for a second. Like, let's talk about my life for a second. Like, hold on. Like, cause even when it just come to cars and Jada having a car, that shit wasn't normal for me. I didn't grow up with a car in my fucking driveway. My mother did not drive. Like, just imagine this shit. My mom didn't drive a car, right? So me and my brother didn't go nowhere, right? This nigga got to go places because he went to his dad's house sometimes, right? I didn't have my dad in my life. Like, he was not there for a nice amount of time in my life. So where the fuck was I at? In the house. Like, and if I wasn't in the house, I was hooping outside, or I was finding some cool ass shit to do with some friends in the neighborhood, waiting until the week start for school, and if the weekend here, I'm chilling, I'm cool, but it's like, I'm walking everywhere. Like, nigga, I'm, like, if I'm hanging out with my friends, I'm walking to them. Like, if I'm trying to go vibe with some shit, around my neighborhood, I'm walking there. It wasn't no, hey, ma, can you drive me and take me to my friend's house? It wasn't none of that. Like, it was, hey, ma, can you pick me up from the mall? It wasn't none of that shit. I ain't had none of that. It wasn't no, Jada, what car you want for your Sweet 16? It wasn't none of that shit. I ain't get my first fucking car until I was out of college. Like, what? Like, niggas didn't even know I could drive, bro. Like, I remember being on campus. Sometimes my friend, she would want to park. Shout out to Helen. I love you so much. But she would want to park her car at my house, okay? Because in college, I was the first friend that moved off campus for my whole friend group. So, like, I moved off campus, sophomore year? So, by junior year, and yeah, sophomore year, I was in, like, an apartment. Junior year, I was in a house with, like, 6 girls. I hated that shit. But I was in a house with 6 girls. And our house was raw as fuck. Like, and our driveway was cool as fuck. We had parties and shit all in the house. So my homie, she was like, while I go to class on this day and this day and this day, can I park my car at your house? You can just take it, basically, and, you know, bring it back to me when I gotta go to class. I'm like, oh, perfect. Bro, I remember she gave me the keys, because it's not that I didn't know how to drive. I had my license and everything. I just didn't have a car to be around with. Like, my uncle took me to get my license. It wasn't like there was no car in my household. Like, I just need to make that fucking clear. So, I remember when I got the car, my friend gave me her car, and I'm just driving that shit on campus, just normal, because it's like, I literally know how to drive, but ain't nobody seen me drive. Ain't none of my friends seen me drive. Ain't no acquaintances seen me drive. Ain't nobody ever seen Jada with a car or behind the wheel of a car. So, I remember driving on campus just to drive. I think I was driving to take her to class so I could drive it back to my house. And I remember a friend saw me, and she was like, she did a double take, and she was like, Jada? I was like, yeah, what's up? She was like, you drive? And I was like, yeah, nigga, I drive. Like, what? She's like, I've never seen you in a car. And I was just like, damn, like, that's crazy, right? So, even in college, I didn't have my own car. So, even if you think about, like, I walked everywhere in college, bro. Like, everywhere in college, I walked. Like, yes, to class, obviously. But I had a brand in college. I started my fucking brand. So, when it came to getting my t-shirts printed, guess who's walking to the t-shirt print shop? Me. From where I stay, which is a long-ass fucking walk. So, and that's consistently. I remember, shout out to Hassan, my bud man, at the time, you feel me? I'm walking from the shop with this big ass bag of merch. Like, just, I'm walking with this shit. And I ain't gonna stop walking, because I'm, in my mind, every step, I'm almost home, you feel me? So, he see me walking, I'm sweating and shit. He like, bro, you need a ride? I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I could use a ride. Bro, he gave me a ride, and I was just thinking to myself, like, that shit was crazy, because I did walk a long ass way up until this point where he just stopped. And he straight up asked me, like, how long you been walking? I was like, I mean, I don't know, but I was walking from the print shop. He was like, bruh, like, you feel me? But that was just the dedication. I always been set up on the vision. So it's just like, I visualized having a car that whole time in the back of my mind, you feel me? Like, it was certain things I was focused on. Like, in college, I'm focused on college and my brand. Like, don't really know when I'm gonna get a car, but it'd be great if that bitch land eventually. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, it was certain moments in my life where I knew, like, okay, I'm gonna get my first car. All right, cool. Now, when it happened, I was like, oh, shit, I got my first car. I had the car for 6 years, my Nissan. Shout out to my baby Blue. You feel me? She died on me about 5 weeks ago. I still love her. But when I first got my first car, my Nissan, I was shocked as fuck then. Like, I'm like, nigga, I just manifested my first, like, bruh, like, for some people, it's like, you get this feeling because you probably got that shit at 16, 17, 18, you feel me? Maybe 19, 20. Nigga, I ain't get my car till I was like, I ain't get my first car till like, what, 27, 25? 24 or 25? One of them. But that shit was crazy. So, right? So, boom. Fast forward. My car takes me to beautiful heights. We have so many memories in that car. And then it start fucking up. Okay? So, when it start fucking up, I'm thinking to myself in the back of my mind, since I never grew up with a car, like, this shit gonna be hard as fuck to manifest a second one. I barely got the first one in my mind, how I'm thinking, because I was raised with the same poverty consciousness everybody else was raised with. Like, my mother was a single mother. We ain't had no crazy, like, roach in the cereal box story and no crazy shit, but it's like, we went through some shit. And it just seemed like it was never enough money in the fucking house. Like, literally. Like, even when it was, it just never felt like it wasn't. So, I definitely come from a mindset of, like, it's never enough. like, and if I got it, I gotta keep it, because I don't know when it's gonna come back. You feel me? Like, I was literally raised around this mindset of thinking. Like, so, as I'm, like, breaking that and shit, I was breaking it at certain points, and I broke it enough right to manifest that first car. But it's like, can you do that again? You feel me? Like, can you tap into that again and really, like, manifest another one and, like, the one you want? Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, I don't know if it's like, I think it is. I think you get better with this shit at time. Like, it's literally like a muscle in the gym. Like, Because when I manifested the first car, I don't know why, I thought she was gonna take me for everywhere. Like, I don't know, I thought she was gonna last forever. Like, I don't know why I thought that way. Maybe I was a little naive. Like, I really loved my car. But, like, when she started messing up, and I say she because I just love her so much. Like, but when my car started messing up, I was like, damn, like, so you not gonna take me into my, I thought we was going into the next phase together, you feel me? Like, the next phase of my life. I'm thinking like, damn, so you not gonna make it? Like, what the fuck? So, and it's crazy because even when I think about it, like, when I was with that car and did all the stuff I did in that car, like, it was a lot of growing I did with that car. It was a lot of, like, self-reflection, just awareness, like, different things I went through in life in that car. Like, just, that car saw so much, right? Like, but all of the things that I experienced, it was supposed to be up until the point that it was literally 5 weeks ago. Like, 5 fucking weeks ago, bro. Like, 5 weeks ago, literally. And it was like, certain shit start fucking up with the car, like, in the last days. Like, I'm just like, damn, like, and we was fixing it. I'm fixing it. Me and my mom fixing it. Certain shit, it's like, okay, we can fix it. We can get to that right now. Certain shit, we not gonna get to it. If my check engine light was on for about 1.5 years in this bitch, I just didn't. You feel me? And I think that's what did it. Yeah, I think that's what happened. But, you know, because, like, life be life, and you feel me? I couldn't do all that shit by myself. So, you know, I say all this to say, it came down to the wire, you feel me? Had this crazy block party we just had, the 4th Be Happy block party. Shout out to Indie Media. Shout out to Destination Dream Foundation. Biggest shit that we doing in Cleveland right now, okay? So we get to my block party. My block party is super lit. Like, now last year, when my car got to the block party in 2023, the tire blew. So I'm on the way. I pick up my friend from the airport. After I pick him from the airport, literally, probably like 10 minutes of him being in the car, my tire pops, okay? This is last year. So I'm like, what the fuck? Now, little shit like, well, that's big shit, you feel me? But I be taking shit on the chin because I know God got me all the time. But crazy shit like that was happening with that car for months, okay? Like, even after that, even going into 2024. But, like, crazy shit. Like, I just remember 2023 summer and a little bit of the spring into the summer. Like, crazy. Even the winter, the whole year of 2023, like, my car was going through it, like, just cutting off. I'm in random areas, a bit just cut off. I'm like, god damn, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where I'm driving through, I'm hearing crazy noises, it's doing shit. I'm like, oh my god, like, and you know your car, so you know certain shit, you can just talk to it and you feel it's gonna be cool. Certain shit is like, baby, you gotta go to the doctor because I can't afford that. I need you to be all right. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, but fast forward, some shit I fixed, some shit I didn't fix. Now, fast forward 2024, I mean, we only about, what? January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. We only 8 months into the year. Don't ask me why I had to count. I'm high as fuck. But we only 8 months into the year. So it's not like, you feel me, like the year not over. So I'm thinking, like, my car gonna be cool, you feel me? So we go to the block party, and I'm thinking, like, okay, now you did some crazy shit last year. Don't do that this year. Like, you feel me? Don't do that. But what did start happening, my car start taking a long time to turn on. So it was a push to start. So I will be pushing the button, but it will be stalling. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I figure out that it was the fucking key fob needed to be recharged or replaced or whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool, I'll replace the key fob. Now, this happened maybe like 3 days before the block party this year. So I'm like, okay. Now, it had been cool for maybe like however many months up until that. So I'm like, okay, something about to happen, because just like something about to happen. Like, I always can feel when some shit about to happen. So when that happened, I'm like, all right, I get the key fob fixed. I, pull the locksmith through. He come through, change out the key fob. I get a new key fob. My car working now. Okay, cool. Block party is literally in 2 days. So I'm like, all right. Now, the car cool. We get to the block party. Car's fine. Like, everything's breezy. But I do and have been hearing this little noise for maybe the past maybe 48 hours, you know what I'm saying? So, and it's not crazy loud, but it's like enough for me to know I'm hearing it. So, block party day come. I get to Cleveland. Now, I don't live in Cleveland no more. I live about 45 minutes away from Cleveland. So, every day, just imagine me with my Nissan who was already fucked up, okay? She going 45 minutes every day back and forth in this bitch. So, it was time. So, boom. We get to the block party this day. Beautiful. We have a beautiful event. Everything's peachy. Okay, cool. I get home. She gets me home. The Nissan gets me back to my house. When we get back to the house, that's it. She not turning on the next day. Like, she was dead. Like, just, she said, I'm done. And I'm like, what? Now, mind you, even while the car was fucking up, I had been saying to myself, I need a new car. Like, I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna get a new car, but I need a new car. And I had been manifesting it in the subconscious part of my mind, like, not knowing what type. I knew what type I wanted, but then it's like, my brother had to give me a reality check for real. And I'm gonna get that car still, but I had to come down a few magical notches, you feel me, and get something that I could actually like attain like right now in the situation, because it was like I need a car like now, like in the next like 72 hours I need a car. So when I started looking, I seen this car, this one that I'm in, and I said, oh yeah, that's the one. That's the one. And I seen it at a few different dealerships at a few different prices, like slightly different. And when I found the one that I wanted at the price that I wanted, I set in on that bitch all the way to us going to get to the test drive. I go to the test drive. I do the test drive. I basically, like, in the moment of doing the test drive, like, basically when she was doing that paperwork, she asked me if I could put down a certain amount. I said no. And we like walked out because I'm thinking like, bro, she asked me that question. I ain't got that shit. Let's go to the next dealership. Fuck it. Let's see what they on. So we go to another dealership. We see what they talking about. I drive another. It's crazy because I drove another Jeep. Like, it was crazy. So I drove a Jeep Cherokee at the next one. So I'm driving it. And it's cool, you feel me? I could see me probably riding it. But when I had drove this one for the test drive, I had knew like, no, this is my car. So fast forward, so I drive the other one at the other dealership. I'm done. I'm in the midst of thinking like, okay, should I get this one? Or it's a few other ones that he had on the computer screen for me to choose from in that price point. So I'm like, okay, which one should I do? We about to get the credit check and all that shit done. I'm sitting there salty because I'm like, damn, bro, the first dealership already ran my credit. I don't want them to run my credit again because, like, who the fuck wants all them fucking, you know, like inquiries or shit on they credit report? So I'm like, something was just telling me like, bruh, call your mama, because my mom is like, my God ain't like what? So I called my mom and she was like, well, you know, how was the other one? Basically, I'm like, I like the other one, like I really like the other one. She was like, okay, what's up? She was like, what you trying to do? I'm like, I don't know. Like, out of nowhere, the lady from the other dealership texts me and she's like, can you put down $500 right now? I'm like, ooh, yeah, we put down, basically it's closed at this point, so right now we'll have to be in the morning, right? So boom, the morning comes, we go get that car. I put down that 500. She gives us the keys to this car. The keys to this car. So I'm like, okay, that shit's crazy. Now I have a new car. It's so crazy that the old car, my baby Nissan, she's still in the garage. Like, she ain't moved from where the fuck she stayed at. She's still in the garage. So it's like, this shit really worked. It's not a trick. It's not like a one and done situation. Like, the shit, once you hit that energy level in yourself, you can do it as many times as you want. So, and I did it with the house that I got. Like, I was living with my mom until I was 29 because I was trying to get my shit together. I was trying to understand how I was going to manifest this artist lifestyle. I was literally like, okay, I have my business. It's running. I have clients. I have consistency. I have an audience. I have a youth audience as well. I'm doing something right. But it was something that I couldn't see about my vision that was clear enough for me to see how I was gonna like move out, be okay, like not need my mom, like all of these things going through my head. And then I just like, I don't know, visualize the type of house that I wanted, and I got that bitch to a T. It's crazy. Like, it's just crazy. So I ain't gonna make this shit no longer than it is, because it's probably about like 30-40 minutes at this point. But it's like, I'm gonna separate it in two parts. It's like, just focus on the vision that you want. Like, for real. Like, I don't know who need to see this, and if you stayed for this part, you really want to do some shit with your life. Like, just hold the vision that you want to see in your head and meditate on that bitch. Like, meditate, not in a word where like, oh my god, meditate. Like, literally, like, shut the fuck up and don't think about nothing else but that thought that you thinking about when you see yourself doing what you want to do. And sit there and stay in that thought frequency. Feel the energy from what you're thinking in that thought frequency as if you have it already, right? And stay there as long as you can. Time yourself if you have to, but stay there as long as you can. Visualize as much as you can about that moment to the point where it's literally feeling like it is your life. And you're literally, at some point, because you can't rush it either. You got to know it's a process. Especially if you ain't ever tapped into the energy before. But don't rush it or yourself. And just keep doing that shit like a muscle every day. And your shit gonna start to line up with what you want and see in your head. So, yeah, I don't know who needed to hear that, but I'm about to go vibe out, listen to some music, and yeah, man. But you know, we got this shit. Like, artists unite. Like, we in this thing. Like, everybody who suffers with, like, you know, the mental anxieties and, like, you know, imposter syndromes and just like, I don't know if I could do this shit. You can do this shit, bro. Like, please believe. Like, I'm gonna show some clips of the shit that I manifested. Like, let's say I'm gonna just show my house and my car. Like, that's it. Like, I'm gonna just show my house and my car. Cause like, from 2022 to now, like 2021 to 2021 is 2022 to now, I changed the fuck out of my life. Like, for real. So, and I'll go into that deeper if y'all want me to. But it's like, yeah, bro. You can do this shit too. Alright. Peace out. I love y'all. Bye.